Good evening and welcome to the programme. I'm Victoria Hollins. First tonight, as we've been hearing, a 26-year-old man from Kentish Town, Ali Harbi Ali, has been found guilty of murdering Sir David Amess, the MP for Southend West. Sir David was stabbed to death during a constituency surgery in Leigh in October. The jury at the Old Bailey, which took only 18 minutes to deliberate, also found Ali guilty of preparing acts of terrorism. Our reporter Thomas Magill is in Leigh for us this evening. Thomas.
Well, Victoria, it's almost 6 months to the day since Sir David Amess was stabbed to death inside Belfair's Methodist Church. An attack that didn't just shock his constituents, but indeed the nation. In court, it was described as an appalling tragedy, not least for the Amess family, who this morning sat a close distance from Ali Harbi Ali, the 26-year-old from Kentish Town, who the jury took just 18 minutes to convict of the murder of Sir David. At times, the evidence against Ali absolutely overwhelming. Not just did the jury hear from witnesses who were inside this church on that day, but also they were able to see body-worn camera footage from the two police officers who were the first at the scene.
They say he's got a knife and he's just stabbed someone.
Essex Police Constables Ryan Curtis and Scott James debate whether to confront the man the prosecution said viciously stabbed Sir David Amess with a 12-inch kitchen knife. They're armed with only batons. They decide to go in, knowing he needs urgent medical attention.
Mate, drop the knife! Drop the knife now! Mate, drop that knife!
He's standing in the aisle of the church with the blood-stained knife in his hand.
They've basically gone in armed with a stick and something that appears smaller than a deodorant can to deal with a man that has just committed an absolute heinous act. I think it's an astounding act of bravery.
Constituent Yvonne Eves, who was due to see Sir David next, dialed 999.
Please, quick now. The man is wielding a knife. He's threatened me. They say he's killed David Amess at Belfair's Methodist Church. He says if we go near him, he will stab us.
It's going to be with them the rest of their lives. You can't, this type of incident, just draw a line. You will relive it. Things will come back. And that's why I think it's a terrible thing what this person has done.
I'd interviewed Sir David at the same church. He'd held many meetings here, including one on Zoom with Richard Hillgrove about the idea of a children's parliament just before he was killed.
It was only a couple of minutes afterwards this heinous act happened.
He's taking on the children's parliament in his honour. Sir David's eldest daughter, Katie, now the patron.
What an incredible thing for young people, you know, to look back and see what a great man he was, what he stood for, that democracy is so important, and the key issues the young people have a voice on, you know, and their voice really matters. And the adult MPs should really, you know, take note of what they have to say.
Sir David was not only loved by his family, seen here at the church, but respected as an MP. His death has had a huge impact on his newly named city of Southend. His murder in a place of worship seen as an attack on democracy. Debbie Tubby, BBC London.
Well, 6 months on and Southend is trying to move on. It has a new MP for Southend West and of course it is now known as Southend City, a legacy and a status that Sir David had campaigned for years. So what will that mean for the image of Southend and for the future of the city itself? In a moment I'll speak to Ian Gilbert, the leader of the council, but first of all let me speak to Mohammed Haji, who is a friend of, or was a friend of Sir David and a local businessman. First of all, your reaction, Mohammed, to today's news of this conviction?
I think it's justice served now, and hopefully we can all now move on with our lives.
And Sir David was your friend. How has the community that he supported been coping then over the last 6 months?
Oh, it's been a shock. It's been a shock, and it's still a shock. A day never goes by when some of the customers come in, discuss or reminisce about David and what he was, what he stood for, and how he was. And so, we all miss him dearly.
And his legacy then will live on, will it?
And his legacy will always remain here. You know, we miss him at Christmas. We missed him at Christmas last time. And he will remain forever as Mr. Southend.
Well, we mentioned there Southend is now a city, and Ian Gilbert, you're the leader of the council. Just give me a reaction to obviously today's news first of all.
Well, obviously thoughts are with Sir David's family, friends and colleagues who, you know, must have been terrible having to relive those events once again, and just hope that can help bring them some closure after today.
And briefly, give us a sense of what it means for Southend to be known as a city so soon after Sir David's murder.
Well, it's a tremendous legacy for Sir David. You know, it's a source of pride and prestige for Southend, but it is what you make of it. And already we've seen some tremendous events organised by the council and our partners to help celebrate city status, to bring people into the city, and to help put Southend even more on the map.
So pride and a good legacy then to remember Sir David.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, on Wednesday, Ali Harbi Ali will be back at the Old Bailey for sentencing. Victoria.
Thomas, thank you very much.